Okay, so by the end of this video, you're going to know how to build an AI voice agent that can handle calls, check availability, and book directly into your calendar, all without you doing a single thing. And this isn't just some cool demo. Businesses lose customers every single day due to missed calls. There was a study done where small businesses miss about 40% of all inbound calls that they receive, and that isn't just a missed call, that's money walking out the door and going directly to their competitor. We're going to fix that today by using Vapi as the front end to handle all of the calls, n8n as the back end to handle the calendar logic, so let's jump straight into it. Voice agent we're going to build today is going to be for a barbershop. Now this voice agent is meant to act as like a front of house, so take in any bookings, check availability, and provide more information about this barbershop. So let's jump straight into a demo.
Jake from Fresh Cuts Barbershop. How can I help?
Hi, do you have any slots on this Tuesday, for a skin fade at around 2 p.m?
Sure thing. What's your name?
It's John.
Actually, we're closed on Monday, so the soonest I can check is Tuesday the 21st, starting at 9 in the morning. Would you like to try for that day?
Can you do the 21st at 5 p.m?
That slot's actually taken. I've got 3:45 or 5 in the evening on Tuesday the 21st. Which one works better for you?
On the 21st, let's do 3 p.m.
So that's a skin fade for Tuesday the 21st at 3 p.m., yeah? Want me to lock that in for you?
Yeah.
You're all set. We're at 24 Main Street in town. See you Tuesday, the 21st at 3 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we've just seen there that the Vapi agent was interacting with n8n over here to check appointments, book appointments, and so on. And if we jump over here to our calendar and we refresh this, we see a new booking here for 3 p.m. for a skin fade for that person. So let's jump straight into exactly how we build this. The first thing we need to do is jump over here to Vapi, and this is where we're going to build and give the prompt to this voice agent. So over here on Vapi, we need to come up here to where it says assistants, and we're going to press create a new assistant. This is obviously after you have signed in. For us, let's give this a name, maybe barber, and press create assistant. Now when we create an assistant, it's going to bring us to a blank page like this, which is how we configure the assistant. Now this might be overwhelming if it's your first time, but it's very, very simple, and we're only going to change a few things because the standard default assistant is already good enough. So the first thing you need to know over here is we're going to use a model which is very cheap and quick, because we don't need a smart model. It's very basic what you're doing for a barbershop. We literally just need to book in an appointment and give the user the details about their appointment. So over here, we're going to use the provider OpenAI, and we can select a bunch of different models, some smarter ones which are slower, and then quicker ones which are less smart. So we're going to use that quicker one which is less smart, which is going to be the GPT-4 on mini cluster. We're going to select this so the assistant is going to speak first whenever it picks up a call. And then for the first message, we are going to make it, hello, this is Jake from Fresh Cuts Barbershop. How can I help? Now, the system prompt for this voice agent is going to be left down below in the second link in the description. You can download it for completely free in my community, but we can very briefly go over this and show you what this does. We're giving it the identity up here, which is you are Jake from the barbershop. You can handle all inbound appointments. You're warm, efficient, and you sound like a real person, not a robot. We give it some style and pronunciation rules over here. We give it information about the shop, like the location and the hours, like Tuesday to Saturday. We give it the services, so standard haircut, skin fade, beard trim. These are just demos. So when you're building this for a client, obviously input their details here. We give it the tools that has access to, which we'll get into later. And then we give it a basic conversation flow. So typically most barbershop conversations are going to go the same route, and we give it that kind of general route that it can follow, just so it doesn't hallucinate and create random outputs and start speaking to the customer like so. We give it some important rules down here, and we give it today's date, which you need to write in this format right here. And then obviously if you download this, just change in the country that you're building this for, and we can press update. That's nearly the majority of this voice agent done. When we scroll down here a little bit past the prompt, we can come down here to the voice configuration section, and this is where we are going to choose the voice that we want to use. For me, most of the time when we're building production agents, we want this to not sound robotic but not sound overly good. We don't want it to sound like a podcast voice, because that's just as bad as a robotic voice, because people know straight away that it's fake. And we're not trying to trick the customer to make it seem real, but we do want it to make it seem pleasant to speak to. So over here, we give it either Vapi or 11 Labs. They seem to be the two best ones. On 11 Labs, you can go over to 11 Labs and have a listen to all of their voices and choose one from there, and then bring it over here to Vapi by just selecting this and choosing the voice in here. But for me, I think the Vapi voices are fine, especially for US based clients. So I'll choose Vapi Elliot, and that's fine for me. All of this can stay the exact same. For the transcriber, I'm going to use Deep Gram Flux General English, and then the rest of this is going to stay completely normal. Now, the last thing we need to do over here is come down here to the tools section. We need to create a new tool so this voice agent can interact with n8n. So before we start building this tool, I'm going to show you this flow over here. The first thing you need to do before you even build this tool, let's disconnect this for a minute. We need to add in a webhook node to this n8n workflow. Again, this is going to be left below, so you can download this full n8n workflow, but we need to add in a webhook so we can copy this URL. So when we're building this tool, we can give the tool a destination to send the information to. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to press create new tool, custom tool, and we're going to give this tool a name right here. I'm going to call mine the barber booking tool. As you can see down here, I already have it made. We're going to give it the name barber booking tool, and the description is check availability or book an appointment at the barber shop. We're going to scroll down here a bit, and we're going to give it some parameters. Now, to add a parameter, it's pretty simple. Come in here, press add property. We have to give it a name, a description, and if it's required or not, and then press apply. For us, we're going to give it these 4 parameters. The first one is going to be the requested type. So in this requested type, we want to know, are we checking availability or are we booking in an appointment? We need to do this so the AI agent over on n8n knows what it's doing. So I give this the name request type. The type is going to be string, and we're going to say use find underscore time to check if a slot is available, or use book underscore time to confirm a booking. And we give it the enum values, which is find underscore time and book underscore time. An enum value is basically just telling this AI it can only be one of these 2 options. So if I didn't give it this enum value, it would probably still output find underscore time or book underscore time. But in the larger scale of things, if we're handling maybe 2,000 calls, maybe 10% of the time, it won't output exactly that. It might output find underscore time underscore today or something like that, which would mess up the flow. So we give it these enum values, which basically means only use one of these 2. We also select down here required, so it has to send this over to n8n. So for this one, we're going to press apply. Now the second parameter we need to add is this one right here, which is requested time, and we just put this in for the description, which is ISO 8601, date time the customer wants, for example, and then we give it an example. The third one we need is the service. So the service, we give it the name service, and the service requested haircut, skin fade, beard trim, combo, kids cut, and so on. We can press apply on that, and then we add in the phone number, which is a customer's phone number if provided. We can press apply, and that's all we need to do. Now, remember that webhook that we just copied? We're going to drop that in here for the server settings. We're going to drop it in here, and we're going to press save, and now we are completely done over here on Vapi. We've just made the full Vapi assistant that can now handle calls and send information over to n8n. The last thing we need to do is just build out this n8n workflow. So I'm going to come up here to the assistants and make sure we give it access to that tool. So I'm going to come over here to the tool section, come here to the drop down and select barber booking tool, and make sure we come up here and we press publish. And then over here on n8n, we need to build out this workflow. It's extremely simple. So as we're building this out, the next node we're going to need is an AI agent. Now in this AI agent, again, we give it a prompt over here, which you can just download. But here we say you are a backend scheduling assistant for Fresh Cuts Barbershop. You receive booking requests from our phone AI agent and return concise, conversation-ready responses. You are not talking to the customer directly. You're feeding information back to the voice agent who will speak to them. We give it access to the tools that it has, which is you have 2 tools: find available slots and book appointments. We give it the service duration, which is all of this amount of duration. For a haircut, it's 20 minutes. For a skin fade, 30, and everything about the business. We give it some information on the business hours. For book time requests, so whenever somebody wants to book a time, always verify that the slot is available and free before booking. If it's free, then book it and return confirmation. If it's no longer free, then return it's taken and provide immediate alternatives. We give it the response format. So for example, if the exact time is available, then return this time is free, ready to book whenever they confirm. And then if there's no availability that day, then we say fully booked on Tuesday, Wednesday has 11:30 and 2 o'clock, Thursday is wide open. So we give it the conversational flow on how to return the responses. We give it some important rules down here, and that's the full system message. Now up here, we have the user message, and we need to give it access to whatever Vapi sends over to n8n. So in order to get what Vapi is going to send over, we need to do a quick test, especially if this is your first time building this. So I'm going to run this, and I'm going to go over to Vapi and make it trigger this webhook so we can see exactly how we're going to receive the information. So you can see I now have this running. I'm going to come back over here to Vapi, go to the assistant that we were just building, and we're going to make it trigger this webhook. So I'm going to come in here, talk to it again.
Jake from Fresh Cuts Barbershop. How can I help?
Hi, I was wondering, can I book a skin fade for today at 2 p.m.? My name is John, and my phone number is 083 314 1234.
We're actually closed on Monday.
Okay, so that's everything we need. You can see it triggered. That's all we needed it to do. We can click in here now and see what it sends over. So you can see here it sends over all of those 4 pieces of information. We have, firstly up here, we have the tool call section, which gives us the tool call ID. We have the person's phone number down here, the service type that they're looking for, the request type, which is to obviously find a time, see if that slot is available. And then over here, we have the requested time. So what we're going to do now is come back over here to the AI agent and give it all of that information. So firstly, let's scroll down here and find the section where we have request type. Let's bring that up here for the user message and put in request type. We have the service, drop it in here. The requested time, drop it in here. And then we can add one more, which is user's phone, and we can drop this in here. Now the AI agent has access to everything it needs. Now we need to give this AI agent a brain. Now it's important in this section that we give it something that's quick. Whenever somebody's on a call, let's say if we give this access to Claude Opus, which is a slower, deep thinking model, then this is going to run for like 30 seconds, and that's not good for a user experience on a call. So what we need to do is find a really fast model, but also something that's relatively smart so we don't mess up bookings. So for me, I think the best one for this is Gemini 2.5 Flash Lite. This one is extremely quick, as you've seen in the demo, but it's also smart enough so it doesn't mess up bookings. So we're going to give it access to Gemini Flash Lite. Then we're going to give it access to these 2 tools, which is the find available slots and the book appointment. Now to do that, come down here, press plus on the tool, search up Google Calendar, select Google Calendar, and then over here, the first one for the find available slots. This is how we're going to configure it. The resource is event. We're going to select the operation as get many, and we're going to select our calendar that we want to get the information from. We can select the limit as 50, and then for the after and before times to get these event details, we are going to let AI decide. So just click this button here and AI will decide that for you. Then for the second one, it's going to be the same Google Calendar, except this time the operation is going to be create, the same Google Calendar. And then for the start and end time, we're going to allow AI to decide, except this time we're going to scroll down here and we're going to add a field for the additional field section. And in here, we are going to add the description in which AI is going to define. So we tell the AI in here, this is the user's booking type and any info we have on them. Then we add in summary and we allow AI to decide that as well again. And we can click save on this. Now we need to just add something over here, which is a respond to webhook. So this is when we receive the information, AI is going to process it. We now need to send it back over to Vapi, and to do that, we're going to come up here, look for the respond to webhook node, and in here we are going to put in this. Make sure that the respond with up here is JSON, and we need to put in this exactly right here. So this is exactly how Vapi expects stuff to be sent over. Firstly, you need to type in this JSON. We need to put in tool call ID equals, and then we need to find the tool call ID. So come over here to the webhook, Vapi sent over, come down here to the tool section and drop in this ID into here. And then for the result, we are going to use the output from the AI agent, and this is basically what the Vapi agent is going to receive and say on the call. So we're going to drop this in here, and now the Vapi agent is going to receive something like this, where if a user asks for a booking on Monday, it's going to say we're closed Mondays, nearest I can do is Tuesday, January the 20th from 9 in the morning. Now that's the full build done. One small thing we need to do before we trigger this and we publish this is come over here and make sure that the HTTP method on your webhook is post, and also down here that in the respond section we're using respond to webhook node. You can click save on this, and now that is your full build completely done that you could deploy for a barbershop today. If you were to reach out to them, ask them if they would need a booking AI voice agent, you could deploy this exactly for today. So if you like that video, make sure to leave a like and a comment on what you actually want to see next. If you want to scale your own AI automation agency to over 100k per month like I've done with my agency, then click the first link below. If you want all of the templates and prompts from this video, then click the second link where I'll leave all of that for completely free.